I think we've revealed some more coaches that will be on the Jackson State 2023 football staff. Let's talk about it and who they are after the bumper and how they may have connections to Coach TC. After the bumper, stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victory Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsyJr. YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you get your podcast. Come on into the room. Come on into the room. Come on into the room. Hit that thumbs up button as you enter. I hope you all had a safe and happy new year. Many blessings to you and your families throughout the entire 2023. I hope 2023 is filled with an abundance of blessings for you and all of your loved ones. Now, to the lecture at hand. It looks as if some more coaches on the 2023 Jackson State football roster or football program have been revealed. And of course, you know who's letting the cat out the bag? It's the recruits. The recruits. Now, obviously, these recruits, they are clearly getting the green light to do this stuff, so it doesn't matter. But it is always interesting because you put your investigative skills on, or not you, me. I put my investigative skills on because I find this stuff interesting. I find this stuff cool. I think it's like, even though the school hasn't officially made an announcement, why not take an announcement from a young recruit that could potentially be a part of the 2023 roster? Now, the first one came from Mr. Marcus Winfield. Mr. Marcus Winfield is a Delaware State transfer portal defensive lineman. Delaware State. Rings a bell. It seems like JSU's gotten a couple of good players from Dell State. But let me go ahead and show you Mr. Winfield's tweet. So Mr. Winfield put this out. He said, blessed to receive an offer from Jackson State University. And right here, he tagged a coach by the name of Jonathan Bradley. Now, if you SWAC aficionados, if you're a SWAC aficionado and you know coaches across other staffs and across other universities, other schools outside of Jackson State, that name may sound familiar to you. The name may sound familiar to you because if we go over here, Mr. Jonathan Bradley was once an assistant at the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. He's assistant head coach, defensive coordinator, and defensive line coach. Let's take a look at Mr. Bradley's resume. It says Jonathan Bradley took over as defensive coordinator and defensive line coach. Now, defensive line coach is key because why? Defensive line is where Mr. Winfield will be playing. So this could potentially be his position coach. So boom, you see it over at UAPB. And I want to say Mr. Bradley also, he was associate head coach in 2020. Prior to UAPB, Coach Bradley spent time in North Carolina Central. Now, why does North Carolina Central ring bells specifically with Coach TC Taylor? Because Coach TC Taylor was once the offensive coordinator at none other than North Carolina Central. You're going to find this as a common theme with Coach TC Taylor. Guys that have ties to North Carolina Central, guys that have ties to the SWAC, and guys that ultimately have ties to Coach TC Taylor. So spent prior to UAPB, North Carolina Central, as the defensive line coach. So boom, it looks as if Mr. Coach Jonathan Bradley will be the defensive line coach at Jackson State and probably have some sort of defensive coordinator role as well. So let's go back to the tweets because once again, the recruits give us all the juicy info that we want to know. This was another tweet put out on New Year's Eve by a potential quarterback and Jason Brown, who also will be taking a visit to Jackson State on January 4th. But that's for another video if he decides to commit. We'll cover that later. But this was Jason Brown, a transfer quarterback from Virginia Tech, if I'm not mistaken. Virginia Tech. This was a tweet he put out. He said, blessed to receive an offer from Jackson State. And he's seriously considering the offer. Shout out to Mr. Outlaw who let me know. Yeah, he gonna love it when he get down here, by the way. Shout out to Mark Wall. This says, thankful, number 6, meaning offer number 6 for the transfer QB. And he put in his tag a young man by the name of Quinn Billerman. Quinn Billerman, once again, if you're familiar with HBCU football, specifically MEAC football, this name may sound familiar. Now, you look at Mr. Quinn Billerman, he's an offensive graduate with assistant with wide receivers at Duke University. But he's not coming to Jackson State to be the wide receivers coach. I think we've got that with RJ Fleming. We did that in a previous video. But here's why Quinn Billerman makes a lot of sense. If you look at Quinn Billerman's bio from Duke, just share Quinn Billerman's bio. Now, for those at home, those are keeping store at home, what city is Duke University at? Boom. Duke University is in Durham, North Carolina, by the way. What other university is in Durham, North Carolina? Well, the answer will be revealed soon. It says Quinn Billerman joined the Duke coaching staff in February 21 and serves as a graduate assistant, coaching, working primarily with quarterbacks. Prior to that, Billerman spent 3 seasons at the staff at Rice. As offensive quality control coach, Billerman mentored quarterback Mike Collins, Audible Lynch, and all conference. Before joining the Rice staff, he was a 2-year, here we go. Before joining the Rice staff, he spent 2 years as a graduate assistant coach at his alma mater, North Carolina Central University. Once again, who has ties to North Carolina Central? One, T.C. Taylor, who is now the head coach at Jackson State, and he was once upon a time the offensive coordinator at North Carolina Central University. And if you don't think that this white man went to North Carolina Central University, I actually was able to find Quinn Billerman's player profile from when he was at North Carolina Central University, and he's from none other than Raleigh, North Carolina. And in his senior year in 2015, as we read right here at the bottom, it said he played in 10 games with 1 as a starter, ranked second in the MEAC in passing efficiency, went 42 of 66 with 399 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. His 8 for 9 and 96 yards against St. Augustine's, passed for a season high at 149 yards and 15 completions against FIU. This is none other than one Quinn Billerman. So for those, I know some people put in my comments, they were wondering like, oh, I wonder who's going to be the quarterback coach. I think we've got your answer in one former quarterback in Quinn Billerman, who currently works with quarterbacks at Duke University. I think he's going to come over to Jackson State and work with quarterbacks. He's used to being around black folks. He went to North Carolina Central. He's a graduate. Shout out to Mr. Quinn Billerman, who looks as if he will be joining the Coach T.C. Taylor staff. And so if you're keeping score at home, we've discovered the offensive coordinator, Mr. Maurice Harris, the wide receivers coach, I want to say, in RJ Fleming, now the quarterbacks coach in Quinn Billerman, and of course the defensive line coach in Jonathan Bradley. And Jonathan Bradley could double as defensive line coach slash defensive coordinator. But we are not done because Football Scoop gave us a freebie. They just tossed us one. We didn't have to actually work for this one. They just tossed us one. And let's go over to the Football Scoop article as we press share this tab. And it says sources. Jackson State's T.C. Taylor continues post Deion Sanders rebuild with offensive hire. Taylor is snagging a rising star and former colleague. Remember that? Relationships matter in everything, but especially in college football coaching, because someone you once played for and or worked with could eventually give you a job and a promotion and advance your career. That's why relationships matter, not just in football, but especially in college football. But it means it's the same way in life. But let's continue reading. Enough of my life lessons. Let's continue reading. It says T.C. Taylor's impressive staff rebuilding at Jackson State is poised for another key offensive addition. Sources tell Football Scoop that Taylor, a former Jackson State star, named last month, all right, blah, 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 has tabbed Jason, please, coach, don't kill me for messing this up. Onyebuga? I'm going to just call him Coach Jason. Well, okay, Jason Onyebuga into an offensive leadership role. And to work with the offensive line. It says a former standout lineman at Northern Illinois, where he spent the past 2 seasons on staff. Coach Jason is regarded as something of a rising star in the profession. He's a former AFCA 30 under 30 selection and also has participated in the NFL's prestigious Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellowship with the Los Angeles Chargers. Coach Jason has additionally coaching experience from stops at none other than Arkansas Pine Bluff, Southeast Missouri State, and North Carolina Central, where he first crossed paths with Coach Taylor. So, keeping score at home, that's offensive coordinator, D-line coach, O-line coach, quarterbacks, and wide receivers. All right there, we've discovered right here on Jeff Lightsy Jr. YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button, by the way. It says in recent season, Coach Jason has added special teams coordinator. That's another one too right there. Special teams coordinator duties to his work with offensive linemen, and he's expected to slot into a, quote, co-offensive coordinator role type of role with the Tigers, sources told Football Scoop. With the program coming off back-to-back seasons of unprecedented success, JSU is seeing Taylor work swiftly to rebuild a coaching staff that saw several members exit and go to Colorado. Also, a football roster that's been hit hard by the transfer portal. So, there is that. Then they go on to talk. Though much of Jackson State's 2023 schedule is yet to be released, the Tigers are slated to make their debut under Coach T.C. Taylor in a showcase game on August 26th against South Carolina State. And we know that as the MEAC SWAC Challenge. So, hey, I'm liking it, Coach TC. I'm liking the staff that you're putting together. I'm liking the names that I'm seeing. I'm liking the accolades. And I'm liking that they have a lot of ties to the South and they have a lot of ties to HBCU football. Of course, they have a lot of ties to North Carolina Central because that has been the most prominent role Coach TC Taylor has had since he's been in coaching. He was the offensive coordinator at North Carolina Central when they were winning MEAC championships, or they competing for MEAC championships. They're one of the better teams in the MEAC, scoring a whole bunch of points. So, of course, a lot of his coaches have North Carolina Central ties. Of course, a lot of his coaches have North Carolina Central connections. Of course, when that was essentially the highest role that he's had, besides the work he's done at Jackson State, well, most of the guys at Jackson State are going to Boulder. So therefore, he's got to pull from his Rolodex and the people that he's crossed paths with and the people that he's kept in touch with. And I think I heard him say on either Dr. Cavill's show, Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, shout out to Dr. Cavill with Charles Bishop and those guys, or it was on Tiger Talk, the 1400 Club with Ken and Corey C. It was on one of those shows. I can't remember which one it was because TC's done interviews with both of them, and I hope to have TC on here one day. Hopefully, we'll see. But in those shows, they were asking, I think it was with Dr. Cavill, though, now I think about it. They asked him about building his staff. Like, how are you going to go about building a staff? And he said, when you're in the position, I've always wanted to be a head coach. And so therefore, I've always kept a Rolodex of guys that I kept in contact with when this moment would appear. I knew this moment would appear. And when it did finally happen, I wanted to be able to pluck boop, 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 boop with the guys that I work with, that I know I work with well, and that I want to be a part of my first staff. And it looks like it's coming together quite nicely. They've got a bunch of visitors coming into JSU this weekend, coming in on the 4th, not even the weekend, coming in on the 4th, January 4th. It looks as if it's going to be a big recruiting day for Jackson State. And Coach T.C. Taylor and his staff, they're working. They're working to get the right guys on campus, and they're working to build this 2023 roster the way it should be. And that's awesome to see. Congratulations to Coach TC. Congratulations to the new coaches that looks as if allegedly, we did a little bit of investigating, allegedly. Looks as if they're going to join Coach TC Taylor at Jackson State. Oh, and by the way, Trevante Rucker, a wide receiver who I think is going to have a great season in 2023. He's also announced that he's coming back. He had a remarkable freshman year. I don't know, kind of got in a doghouse, didn't really play a whole lot this year in 2022. But in 2023, I expect Trevante Rucker to be one of the best receivers on the team. That's just my thing. So congratulations, Trevante. Congratulations to Coach TC and JSU fans. Looks like you're getting some really, really good coaches with really, really extensive, well-vetted, great backgrounds to come in there, help you recruit the best players and develop those players into the next James Houston, potentially. We'll have to wait and see. Hit that thumbs up button, by the way. My name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. This is the Victory Formation Sports Show right here on Jeff Lightsy Jr. YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you get your podcast. You can also follow me at JLightsy7. That's on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff at JLightsy7. And also for the Facebook gang, if you're a Facebook person, it's Jeff Lightsy Sports on Facebook. It's the one with the blue check, Jeff Lightsy Sports on Facebook. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up button, and I will see you next time. Peace.